Hey guys, what's up? I am back with another video. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 3 things to help you overcome the fear of the unknown. So let me first touch on fear. So fear is something that we all experience within our life, but oftentimes we want to downplay it because we don't want to look weak per se. We all want to put on that tough persona to others, when really we all experience that fear from a young child on up. At times we even find ourselves making choices out of fear, but we don't realize that it's really necessarily coming from fear. Sometimes we just aren't aware that the root of those choices was fear. Sometimes we may think it's just our circumstances that made us make a decision. Oftentimes we fear things that we don't know. Fearing the unknown. I was definitely one of those people who feared the unknown. Found myself questioning a lot of things. Like, for example, when I was younger, my favorite question was always why. Because I wanted to know. I wanted to understand. I'm really one of those people who really need to understand things. If you watch any of my previous videos, I kind of touch base on it that I'm really not the type of person to just take things and run with it. But I need to gain my own understanding from it. So, because I wanted to know so many different things, my favorite question was why? Well, why is that happening? And I found out, even asking that why, it sometimes irritates people. But it don't necessarily just irritate them. I feel like when they don't know or they're not for sure themselves, that's what irritates them, the fact that you're even challenging their thought. One of the things that I found the most interesting, though, as I got older was this world. I feel like the world is such a huge mystery, and I have so many questions. And when I started to develop my relationship with God, I was reading the Bible and I'm like, whoa, this book is deep. You know what I mean? I was just reading through certain chapters like Genesis, Exodus, Romans, Matthews. Those are some of the ones that I find really, really interesting. And a lot of things in there just it kind of brings you to this place of understanding where people got their principles from in the world now, but it's kind of like they kind of twisted it to fit their own idea per se, or they understood it to their own level of understanding and went with it and taught others that. So I was in fear of trusting God. I really was afraid to trust him, and I feel like it's because I didn't know him personally. At the time, I wasn't really developing a close relationship with him. I was kind of straying away from him at the time, and because I didn't know him, I was in fear of what it was he could do. I didn't trust that what he could do for my life. No matter who told me something opposite, I had to get to know him for myself. And it made things a whole lot easier when you get to know something for yourself. Same with things that you don't know, mysteries that you don't know and want to know the answer. It's so much easier to accept it when you get to an understanding that makes sense to you, and then take it back to God for confirmation. I personally allowed fear to control my life in so many different ways, and I made so many decisions out of fear that I'm just not proud of. But I want to come here today to give you guys 3 ways that really help me get over the fear of the unknown. So number 1 is let go of control. Letting go of control really helped me a lot. However, it was hard to even identify the fact that I had control issues. And I would honestly always be like, I don't like people who's controlling. I just feel like it's not right, da 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 da. Just for me to come to find out that I was controlling as well. And you really have to humble yourself in life. Excuse me. I realized that I was controlling in ways that I thought was normal, honestly. It's the simple things in life that you don't even realize that you're being controlling. You want your hair a certain type of way, and if it don't go that way, then you catch an attitude until you get it that way. Or when it comes simply to your lifestyle, you want to live a certain type of way. You know how they say don't try to keep up with the Joneses. you want to live a certain type of way because you see these things around you and you want to have certain stuff and you feel like, you just deserve to live that life. So because you feel like you deserve to live that life, you will find any type of way to get there. And you don't even realize that that's your way of trying to control the narrative that's on your life, when in all reality, you don't have control of your life, boo. You don't have control of your life. And listen, it took some humbling for me to get it too, but you don't have control of your life at all, no matter what you do or how much you think that you're doing something to change the narrative. At the end of the day, there is already an assignment that's connected to your name. God already has a purpose for you. So you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but at the end of the day, if it's not according to God's will, if it's not in his will, sis. Like when I came across in the word, it was a scripture, I'm paraphrasing. Drop it down below if you know the scripture. I'll have it in my description box as well. But when I came across this scripture, it was basically saying like, the things that you think you are doing that is good will lead to death. And I was like, so you mean to tell me I could be thinking I'm doing the right thing this whole entire time, and the whole time I'm not even doing what I'm supposed to be doing? That alone scared me. That alone put fear in me, because I'm like, I'm trying to do the right thing. And like, God know our heart at the end of the day. So that's great. But I'm like, when I was first on, I'm like, I'm trying to do the right thing. And I could still not be doing the right thing. And I could still die because of it. Like, I could still go to hell because of it. I used to just be outdone. Like, learning, I was just outdone. And it can be really hard because we live in a world that's kind of telling us that, if things aren't going right in your life, take control of your life. You have control of your life. You control your body. You control your mind. You control your blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yes, for sure. To an extent. Like, to an extent, you don't fully control your life. That's a lie. You don't fully control what happens in your life. That's a lie. Like, once you start realizing the lies that you've been told and start seeking the truth, you're going to be mind blown. I'm telling y'all, I was mind blown. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But I'm just so grateful for the fact that the blindfolds have been taken off my eyes to see. So yes, that is my number one. Let go of all control. My number two would be to surrender. So surrender to me, when I first thought of it, was letting go. Giving it all up. I surrender. When I think of surrender, I think of like, brace yourself. You know what I mean? So that's what I thought of when I thought of surrender. And I'm like, okay, which is what I thought I already was doing. I was like, I'm letting go of control. That's me letting go. Like, I am surrendering. And then I had to realize that there's a difference between letting go and fully surrendering your life to Christ. Because you can let go of something, but that doesn't mean that you fully trust him to guide you. I have let go of a lot of things. I have let go of control of a lot of situations in my life. But I let go of them to an extent. There was different areas where I felt like, okay, I let this go and I gave this to God, but I still have a little bit of control over this over here. And with me letting go of some things, but then holding on to others, that didn't fully give God the full authority over my life. That didn't allow him to move in my life, because I was still over here holding on to one thing. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I'm giving it all to you. You know what I mean? And it was kind of contradicting. Not kind of, it was contradicting, because it was a little confusing too, because what I thought I was doing the right thing, I kind of had to self-reflect on what surrendering fully meant. And surrendering really involves you to trust him fully. Believe in him and trust him that he will provide, that he will guide, that he is who he said he is, that he died and he rose again just for you and me. And so yes, surrender. Let it go. Not only let go of your control, but fully wash your hands with it. Like, trust that God has the authority and the power to change things in your life, to make miracles come to pass in your life. Trust that he he is a man of his word. Trust that he's a man of his word, and that nothing shall return back void. Number three for me would be wait. This involves a lot of patience. It really brought to my attention that my patience sucked. My patience sucked. It was out the window. I was like, I knew I kind of struggled with patience, but I realized it was getting bad at a certain point in time, because I'm like, okay, I cannot keep sitting around waiting for something to happen, and I don't even know if it's really going to happen. But I didn't think it was really going to happen because I didn't really trust and fully believe that it would happen. So that was mistake number one. So that's why I was telling you guys to, within that surrendering, you have to trust it. And within the wait, I see why there's so many like books and things like that's titled The Wait. There are so many things that happen within that wait. You are growing, you are changing, you are letting go of things that no longer fit who you are becoming. You're letting go of friends, relationships, and it starts to get really lonely in that waiting season. But one thing I can say is God doesn't leave you there lonely. You're not lonely, you're alone, and there's a major difference that He showed me. He's there with you the entire time. You're not lonely, you are alone. And within that alone time, let me just speak for myself. God was definitely speaking to me in my alone time. He was definitely showing me different things that no longer served me, that I had to let go of. And some of it was hard, and some of it was not as hard as others. But I was definitely grateful for that season of being alone. So within my wait, I was really struggling, and I would start to get really frustrated, and I would like cry. And I would just be praying, and I would just be like, God, if you hear these prayers, just please answer me. I don't know, send somebody to speak to me. Just give me something that comfort me in this time, help strengthen me. And he highlighted the scripture, Isaiah 40:31. And within even highlighting that scripture, I am a part of Transformation Church, and that was a word within our team meeting. And then they came out with a song. And Isaiah 40:31 reads, "But they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint." That's letting me know that within that wait, God will renew your strength. That I'll grow in strength through the wait, through being patient, and that I shouldn't grow weary. I was growing weary in my way. I was growing so weary, and I knew I was because of how frustrated I became. And they made a song about it, and it's really like the lyrics, but it's like, I'm not gonna sing it, but it's like so yeah. When bringing his promises to fruition, we may think of it as God's being slow. Why is he taking so long? Hurry up. Like, God, I know you see me here struggling, blah, 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 blah. But what we have to realize is that what we think is slow, God is really being patient with us. Sometimes there's things that we really need to fix in that waiting season, things that we really need to work on before he even releases us into that new season. Some of the things that we need to release in that waiting season can kind of like derail us on another path to that promise. Not saying you won't still receive the promise that God has for you, but you might end up taking a completely different path because you weren't patient to wait. So waiting would definitely be number 3. Another song that comes to my mind is Wait on the Lord, wait on the Lord, he will renew your strength. So wait, I'll pray, wait on the Lord, wait on the Lord. y'all, whatever you do, wait on the Lord. See y'all.